All right, so I've got the fairing off of this new 2024 Road Glide. I'm going to show you quickly how to remove this stock amplifier, bolt in our amp plate, and also how to bolt in our A2B bracket. I'm going to show you exactly how to mount both the Hertz amplifier and the SeirenHD A2B interface in this fairing. All right, to get to this point, I want you to watch our step-by-step install videos. The current ones are going to show you to use some Velcro here, but it's going to show you how to get the fairing apart, how to run your wiring, how to get to this place. Then once you get the amp mounted on your plate, move right back to watching that video. Eventually, we'll reshoot all of our step-by-step videos, start to finish, using this bracket. But for now, since this part's so new, we're going to kind of piece it in and show you, but you'll have everything you need. First, we're going to take that factory amplifier, and I'm going to remove the 4 mounting bolts that hold it in. We're going to be reusing these to install our new amp bracket. All right, so once we have that amp where it's loose, we're going to take this little red retainer, we're going to push it out. That's going to release this clip if we press down, and now we're going to be able to unplug this amplifier from this connector. That's going to be what we plug our new amp and A2B interface into later. Let's take our new amp plate. We're going to drop it in place right where that was. Now, I want you to take the hardware that comes with it. It's going to come with 4 bolts to do the amp, to bolt the amp down. I'm going to go ahead and start 2 of those. I like to start 2 of the harder ones. That way I'm not dropping them in here later on. Now, we're going to need a T15 Torx for this. Let me grab that. So I'm going to go ahead and take that T15 Torx without the amp in place. I'm going to start the 2 on this end. We're just getting them started. We're not going to actually tighten them up. All right, so now that we have those 2 bolts started, we're just going to take those factory bolts and we're going to start them in here. This is what held our amp in before. And this does clear the headlight below. They're not long enough that they touch or hit it. I'm going to start the 4th one. Once I get the 4th one started, I'll go back and I'll tighten them all up. You want to be able to move this plate around just a little bit to make sure everything lines up as you expect it to. I guess if I tighten these just enough, it doesn't want to wiggle. I didn't mean to go that tight. So we got to drop this bolt in here. There we go. Not a lot of clearance between the washer and the hole, but it fits just right. We're going to go and tighten these, all 4 of these down now. All right, so now we're going to take our amplifier. Wiring is going to be going toward the brake side of the bike. And we're just going to drop it in here, slide it onto this bracket. I'm going to start this front screw because it's a little easier to get to, hold my amp in place before I do the rear one. Kurt and the guys at Extreme did a great job of building this bracket. It fits in here just so perfectly. And I appreciate them letting us use their amp brackets with our kids. All right, so now I'm going to tighten all 4 of these screws now that my amp's in place. All right. All right, so next we're going to take our A2B mounting bracket, and this is great. It works great with a factory headlight, but it also works great with some of the aftermarket headlights. So this is going to just slide right in under here. Now, some of you guys might have already invested in and bought a garage door opener. If you did that, it would have a bracket that goes through these same 2 holes Really simple though. You can just zip tie it behind the headlight. There's a big void. We go over that in our CVO videos. So I would tell you to check out the CVO models. They all come with that. This is a T30, so let me grab the correct torques. If you have the garage door opener, just refer to those CVO videos. We'll show you exactly how to relocate that behind the headlight, which is going to make room for your new A to B interface. Here's our A to B interface. You'll see it lines up with the two holes on this bracket. And again, we're right back to a couple more of these T15 torques. Now these are going to be shorter. The ones that holding the amp in were a 1/2 inch long. These are just a 1/4 inch long. All right, so we're going to do a little bit of wire management here. First, I'm going to take our connector that we've plugged in. We're actually going to put it back a little bit like this. Make sure that it's under the height of that amp. We're going to put a zip tie up and around that wire to hold it all in place. Just making sure it doesn't bounce around. All right, so we're going to take the 4 RCAs that we're not using. We're just going to put those just down in here in our wiring. Those over to the side. Now, if you look at the length of the harnessing that we have, this speaker wire connection needs to fall right into here to have plenty of room. So we're going to bring some zip ties up and around it as well, holding it where we want it. Kind of bringing it down. It's in place. Now we just have our signal wires that have all been heat shrunk, and we're going to pull those down in here. And what we're going to do is we want to try to get them all down and under this area here. That is as high as we can go without the fairing hitting. So we're going to try to stay underneath this metal brace here. The best way to do that is going to be to start sliding these in underneath here and maybe toward the back. They're heat shrunk, you don't have to worry about them coming unplugged. Then I'm going to put another zip tie around those. Now this is the 8-channel, which has longer RCA cables. If you have the older 6-channel, you won't have as much of this to manage, but we wanted to make sure if we were going to give you 8 channels of output that we gave you plenty of lead depending on where you put your second amplifier. All right, there we go. Everything is down now where the fairing will slide up and clear without problem. Wire management looks good. And we're ready to go back together with the rest of the bike and continue on with our install.